we gon' run it. Hit the field, blast off, watch a mom fall. This is AFC North talk. Got me hype, it's about to be a touchdown. Got the Ravens, Steelers, Bengals, and the Browns. Are you listening? It's time to get it hype. Tune in when the season poppin'. Yeah, we going live. Hey, knock 'em out. Ay, first down, going hard. Yes, indeed. AFC North talk. Let's go. Hey, AFC North talk.
All right, welcome in to latest edition of AFC North Talk. Jared, Ace with you here. Sonny is out this week. This is very busy for all of us. He's traveling for Christmas. Q will be here in a little bit. 4 games to talk about this week. But the Steelers and Ravens still fighting for the division lead. Obviously, Cleveland and Cincinnati out of the playoff race, but obviously we'll touch on all of those. What's going on, pal? How are you?
Pretty good, man. Just taking it all in. Obviously, Bengals are out of contention, like you're saying. So starting to shift things towards the coach. You know, there was a billboard in Cincinnati pulled up a certain billboard.
Did you have something to do with that?
I did not have anything to do with that. I did not. I heard about it the whole time. I was wondering, like, if it was kind of be a scam or something like that, because I know in the past I've thought about doing something like that, but it was kind of nixed because apparently I think I wanted mine to be by the stadium. And I think from my understanding, the Bengals do a lot of business with certain billboard places. So they kind of end up Xing those from happening. But yeah, somebody was able to get a billboard put up that said,
I think it was like the Twitter account was the Vontaze Perfect Burner or whatever.
Yeah, the Vontaze Perfect Burner. Yeah, he was able to work with I think Drew Garrison. I do know Drew Garrison had something to do with it as well. And yeah, they were able to get a billboard up, a digital billboard, apparently near the West Liberty side of Cincinnati, which is near downtown, that said, "Fire Zach, fire Duke, save Tobin." So if the Bengals front office think that they're going to try to run it back with no kind of resistance, I think a billboard funded by fans is definitely going to try to prove them wrong. And I'm wondering, my thought is, why not just stop at that billboard? Get several different billboards and get the message out there. That's what I would do personally.
I wonder what that costs. Because, by the way, the Steelers fans did this earlier in this year as well. So this is now 2 out of 4 AFC North teams that have gotten
what did you guys' billboard say?
I can't remember it verbatim, but it was basically just saying either sell the team or fire Mike Tomlin, and that was that was earlier in this year. So now 2 out of the 4 teams. We'll see if the Ravens do it next. That seems to be the next domino to fall. I don't think the Browns are going to have to. It feels like Kevin is kind of on his way out there.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, man. Let's start with since it's you and I here right now, we'll start with the Steelers just to get it out of the way. When Q gets here, we can jump into the other games, and obviously we'll touch on Baltimore, New England, probably the biggest matchup of the week in terms of just the both teams that are involved. That's a Sunday night game. So if you're watching live, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Like the video, comment if you're watching and be part of the conversation. Super chat should be open. So yeah, let's get it going. Steelers and the Lions. What are the let's see how bad the Steelers are underdogs in this game. They are 6.5-point dogs. Detroit's defense as of late hasn't been great. They allowed north of 40 points last week. Granted, they were playing maybe the best offense in the NFL in the Rams. So, I think playing a Pittsburgh offense that, put up 28 in its own right. But, you don't have to deal with Puka Nacua. You don't have to deal with Devontae Adams, Matthew Stafford. So I think it'll be slightly, probably more than slightly easier task for Detroit. But Pittsburgh, no TJ Watt. Isaac Seumalo also out. So we'll see what they do with that guard situation with Seumalo out. It looks like Nick Herbig could play. He's questionable. He practiced today, which is good. But no TJ again. Derek Harmon, he is back. So that is going to be a big help to their run defense, trying to slow down Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. I don't expect the Steelers to win this. I will be hopeful that they can, especially if the offense continues to play the way it has over the last 2 weeks, then they certainly have a shot. But I don't, I'm going into this with the mindset of, Detroit's a better team. Both of these teams are 8-6. But when Detroit gets going, man, offensively, that's, one of the 5 offenses in the NFL that no one wants to run into. We saw it week 2 against the Bears where they put up 50, where Gibbs just was unstoppable. I think he has 3 games of 3 touchdowns this season. So he's just been on an absolute tear. 16 total touchdowns on the year for him. Whenever Amon-Ra gets going, Jameson Williams over the last month or so since Dan Campbell took over play calls has been more involved for Detroit. Pittsburgh's going to have their hands full. This is going to be, in terms of just like weaponry and the offensive scheme and whatnot that they're going up against, maybe their toughest test of the year. Obviously playing the Bills is never easy when you have Josh Allen and James Cook, but the receivers that Buffalo have, that wasn't really the worry in that game. Giving up 240 rushing yards ended up being the stake in their heart in that game. This game, you got to worry about Gibbs, you got to worry about Montgomery, but you also have to worry about a really good passing game. And this isn't a great matchup for Pittsburgh because, Jared Goff and the Lions, that is all right, 1, 2, 3, get the ball out and let these playmakers do what they do. We saw the Bengals took advantage of that in the first matchup where Flacco was new. They weren't going to make anything crazy. And it was just, hey, spam the slant button, and the Steelers couldn't slow it down. Their defense since that game has turned a corner. So hopefully we don't see, as a Steelers fan and, Steelers fans watching, hopefully we don't see a repeat of that. I'm sure Baltimore Ravens fans would love to see a repeat of that. But yeah, 6.5 points. I think I might actually take the Lions to win and cover. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I'm hoping it's not going to be a blowout. There is the potential of that. But the way that the Steelers have been playing, especially the last 2 weeks, if they can keep this a 1-score game and go tick for tack with the Lions, if they're able to put up points, then they have a chance to win. I'm still going to go into it with the mentality that Detroit, just a better team, also pretty desperate at this point because they're currently out of the playoff picture in the NFC. So if they lose this game, very real chance that their playoff hopes are done as well, considering that I want to say the 7 seed in the NFC is 10-4. I'll have to get that pulled up here in a second. But 2 desperate teams, trying to win. Pittsburgh a little bit less desperate because even if they lose these next 2, the division's still in line in week 18. Detroit, if they don't win, their playoff hopes are very much in doubt. So I'm going to pick Detroit to win, hoping that the Steelers can go back and forth and keep it a game and maybe give themselves a shot at the end, but I'm going to pick Detroit.
Yeah, the 7th seed right now is the Packers at 9-4-1 currently. And right now Detroit has even if they win this game, they only have a 45% chance to make the playoffs, which is kind of crazy, right? Because we came into this season expecting them to be one of the favorites in the NFC. Right now, they're a team that's struggling to kind of be in that playoff picture, which is not where I expected them to be right now. You talk about them being 8-6. Look, I like Detroit. I like what they're able to do offensively. You brought up a good point about the defense. The defense has struggled here lately, I think, with Detroit. And I really do think that this Steelers team has turned the corner. Like, I get it. It was the Miami Dolphins. Mm-hmm. But the last 2 games, that offense has given them just enough to get by. And I think this defense has really kind of turned it on for the Steelers as of late. Obviously, this is going to be in Detroit on the turf, so it's going to kind of lean towards Detroit. So everything about this game makes me want to pick Detroit, but I feel like this could be a sneaky game that the Steelers somehow steal here. No pun intended. But I'm looking at it, and I'm looking at a guy in Aaron Rodgers that's, it's been a while, but he's familiar with the Detroit Lions, has had some history against them. And the way that Rodgers is playing, like I'm almost like, I don't know if this is like the equivalent of load management in the NFL, but I feel like he was milking it for a little bit during the season and waiting for like this moment to say, all right, now it's time to come out here and play some real ball. And I think that the Aaron Rodgers that we're going to see going forward from now until the playoffs is the Aaron Rodgers that many expected to show up for the Steelers week 1. And I just love the energy that the Steelers are playing with right now, like the confidence and everything right now. And I think that this is a Detroit team where all the pressure is really on them, right? Like the the Steelers still have a lead over the Ravens. The Ravens still have a hard matchup. And Detroit is looking like, man, we don't want to blow our season and look like the goofs in this one. So all the pressure is on them. And I'm just not so sure that Jared Goff in a pressure situation, which is normally the playoffs, is going to step up. And if he has any kind of mistakes in this game, I think that Pittsburgh can get the momentum in this one. So I can't believe I'm saying this, but I had to put my analyst hat on here, and I'm taking the Steelers in this one for the upset. I think that this is going to be one of the ones that just kind of determine like where this Pittsburgh season is going to go. And I think that right now it's hard for me to bet against them because I just think Rodgers has turned the corner. I think the defense is getting better. I think Coach Tomlin, like, I love Dan Campbell as well. Dan Gamble, he's probably going to gamble in this one. But I just think right now, the way that the Steelers are playing, they're a hot team right now. And they're getting hot at the right time in December. They're going to bring that into January. And I think that they're gonna ultimately be the team that takes this division. That's just the energy and the vibe that I got off of them the last couple of games. So I'm going to actually go with the Steelers here to pull the upset over Detroit. Again, Detroit has performed way under the expectations. You would think, even though Jahmyr Gibbs is having a great season and all of that, you would think that this team, and before you told me they were 8-6, I would have assumed that they had won like 11 games by this point. But when you look at it and see 8-6, it's like, man,
both teams have the same record, which is pretty crazy.
It's crazy. Like,
it's very much the Tiger Woods and John Daly meme where the Lions are, all buttoned up at 8-6. The Steelers are standing there in pink pants, smoking a cigarette, being like, yeah, we're 8-6 too.
Exactly, man. So that's crazy. Like, I wouldn't have believed you if you would have said right now in the playoffs, right now, they are out of the playoffs. But that's the reality of what it is. And if they win this game, there's only a 45% chance for them to make the playoffs. So they need some help. So I'm going to take the Steelers here. I think, the Steelers have been taking care of business. I think they're going to continue to do that. And if they win, they have a 77% chance to make the playoffs. So give me the Steelers on this one.
Pretty crazy that Detroit could win out, go 11-6, and still not get to the playoffs, which is pretty. You don't see that too often. The Patriots won 11-5 in 2008 and didn't make the postseason. I want to say this the last time an 11-win team didn't get in. We talked about the Lions defense since week 10 in terms of EPA. They are 25th in the NFL, sandwiched between the Cowboys and the Titans. So that tells you how bad their defense has been over the last about 2 months. Really been letting them down. Q, good to see you.
Hi, nice to see you guys.
Any thoughts on Steelers Lions?
Did you just say that the Lions defense has been just as bad as the Titans and the Cowboys?
Yeah, so since week 10, in terms of EPA per play on the defensive side of the ball, they're 26th. I'm sorry, they're 25th. Dallas is 26th. Tennessee's 24th. So the Titans have actually been better than them defensively from an EPA standpoint.
We have the Cowboys who let number 9 get off last.
Right.
And then we have the Titans who let Shador put up Joe Burrow numbers.
It's not good.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Pittsburgh this week, man.
Maybe I'm just blinded by the fact that it's still the Lions, and there's anytime they reach that gear, I just don't want to see any part of them.
Yeah, I don't know if that gear is there. I mean, Jared Goff's been playing great. I think that's been the one thing. Jared Goff's been really playing great, but that kind of makes me even more nervous for the Lions.
He's due for a letdown at some point.
It's kind of like you count the days. It's like, oh yeah. It's Carson Wentz is playing awesome. It's funny they're both in the same draft class, right?
Yeah.
But it's like he's one of those quarterbacks where you're like, every 5 games there's like a regression from Jared.
And that happens with Jared a lot too, where he'll have stretches where he looks like a top 10 quarterback, and then he'll have a game that kills that stretch where it looks like he's never touched a football in his life. It's brutal.
It's Jared Goff game. It's Jared Goff.
You know what? We're gonna call these guys cycle quarterbacks, because Baker Mayfield's another one where it's like every time you start to say he could win the MVP, shit goes
the menstrual valuable player.
Yeah, it's like, there's just a cycle with these guys. It's like, there's like, oh, he's hot. I'm pretty sure Andy Dalton was like a low-level cycle guy where it's like, oh, Andy Dalton, he's putting up numbers. And he's like, I think it's really AJ, but he's putting up numbers. And then the playoffs come around, it's like, oh, Andy Dalton, he's putting up numbers. But they're not the numbers you want.
The Steelers haven't lost in Detroit since Thanksgiving '98. I was still a month from being born, so it's been
Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders was.
I think Pittsburgh Steelers to be rolling these next 2 weeks, so they can take care of business. Right? So Pittsburgh, I think they'll play good football right now. I think they have had their slump in the middle of the year, and they're trying something different. They look like shit for a little bit. They're coming back a little bit here. We'll see if they fumble like the last week of the season, but they're trying something different this year. Not really, but at least they're losing and winning in a different way. How many wins they got, Jared?
They're 8-6.
Yeah, they got to lock in that over 500, right? So Rich Eisen get back on TV and tell you.
Oh, don't worry, he's already there. He's already there.
Oh yeah, that ninth win's gonna come in. He's like, I don't know. A lot of people want to fire Mike, but look, when you put his back against the wall, it's like Jordan. He just responds.
Rich is the nicest human being on earth, but my God, man, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Vote for Mike Tomlin to be president. There's
1,000,000,000%, yes. Yeah.
No platform, just like I believe in him as a human. You got my endorsement, Mike.
If the Steelers do win this game, though, and the Ravens lose to New England, then the Steelers, if they beat the Browns, the division is wrapped up. So there is a world where the Steelers play in Cleveland for the division.
You mean that the Steelers could make next week's game more important by winning?
Yeah, that's correct.
Need them to do it.
I'm really hopeful that Miles breaks the record this coming week.
Oh, Josh Allen. Yeah, then he gets to like 28, 30, whatever he wants to fucking get to against Pittsburgh. And then he can get a week early start to Cancun, baby, because we're not going to need him in Cincinnati. You know what I mean?
You think they'll arrest him?
I think he will be rested. I don't know if he will consent, but I promise you this: you will see Isaiah McGuire and Sam Kamara in the fourth quarter of that fucking Bengals game, buddy.
Jesus. All right, so you both are picking Pittsburgh. I'm picking Detroit. I hope I'm wrong. Would love to be wrong. Of course, like that does come with the caveat of, all right, yeah, I got to listen to more Mike Tomlin stuff and whatever. That's fine. I'll root for the win now and deal with the other shit later. But we'll see. What were you saying, Q?
I thought your mic cut out for a second.
Oh no. Yeah, rooting for a win, hoping for a win, but preparing myself for a loss. Where should we go now? We'll focus on the rest of the teams that are represented here. We'll touch on the Ravens last. Do we want to go with Buffalo, Cleveland?
Let's do it.
The biggest thing in this is that Josh Allen's next touchdown is his 300th. So that's paying attention to that.
Nice. 300 touchdowns for Josh. Return the favor. Go ahead and give 23 and 24 up, buddy. Do you think, here's the real question. Do you think Josh Allen is the kind of guy that goes out swinging? Or do you think John Cena's is like the final sack? Like you think he does Peyton Manning where he's like, oh man, you're such a great player.
No, Josh, I would assume he would make Miles earn it.
Because I think like of the quarterbacks left, 100% like the most likely is Aaron Rodgers. Not because he's like, oh, I want.
He just doesn't want to get hit.
He's like, oh no, man, fuck that. oh shit, no, I'm going down.
Yeah, that would suck because you're just like, okay, we're game planning. This is Myles Garrett trying to break a record. This isn't just regular Myles Garrett, which you already is already going to keep you up for nights. This is Myles Garrett.
No Denzel Ward this game,
record.
Yeah, they got a record on the call. Denzel Ward not being there is going to be interesting because it's like, hey, if there's a week to miss your corners when you're playing the Bills, but like we're throwing nobody out. Denzel Ward, brother. Like Keon Coleman might be back in fucking Florida State. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Look, what I'm hoping to come out this game with is the sack record, right? I think, at home versus Buffalo would be sweet. Like, it would be nice to not have.
Is this their last home game, or do they still have another one?
I think Pittsburgh. Become one more.
Pittsburgh's a home. Yeah, my bad.
This is their last home stand of the season. So we'll see what happens here. Buffalo's been playing some decent football. Like I don't know, Buffalo's been playing some interesting football. I would say it like that because like they've had a couple of games. You're like, well, what the fuck is Buffalo doing?
Yeah, they're playing some black magic bullshit football in these second halves recently.
And that might work out to the Browns' favor. Maybe it's one of those games where like the Browns and Buffalo are able to keep it close, and that means that Miles is able to get a lot of opportunities to get that sack or get the 2 sacks that he needs. And then like the Browns offense does that thing where we diddle around and we don't fucking score, and then we throw a bunch of interceptions, and then boom, Josh Allen. So, yeah.
I'll tell you this though, Quinshon Judkins will be able to run the ball.
You think so?
Bills don't have a good run defense. They're one of the worst run
all year. That does not matter. Brother, we didn't run the ball well versus the Bengals.
That's fair.
We didn't run the ball well versus the Dolphins.
The Bills since week 10 ranked 24th in defensive success rate stopping the run. So there will be opportunities.
What is their defensive success rate like number?
Defensive success rate since week 10, it's 19th. Let me check out the entire season. Now, look, granted, these numbers are skewed because they played Justin Fields and they got a few games against they had another. There's a bunch of games in there where it's bad offenses that help.
Well, Jared, I would like to bring up that this week is going to be a week that next week.
That's fair. That's completely fair.
You're going to have to quantify.
Let's see. All right, their total defensive success rate is 15th. All right, so even then, it's not great. It's not bad, but not great.
Let's say the Browns have an offensive success rate of 33%, so I think the Bills might be fine, but
less than good.
33%. Remember last year I was bitching about success rate all offseason, being like, it can't get worse than this. They're pretty much where they were last year with Dorian Thompson-Robinson. That's just
bad, man.
Ooh, that's brutal.
They're second and they're tied with Denver for first in defensive success rate.
Yeah, no, the defense is amazing.
Yeah.
The offense is just god awful. If they had like if this team had a decent offense,
they'd probably be in the playoffs. Yeah,
they would be winning the division right now. But that's not the world we live in. Hopefully, we do what's necessary so that could be the world we live in.
They might win the division, and then depending on what happens in the AFC West, there could have been like either Browns Chargers or Browns Broncos, and like a display of really good defensive football and very not great offensive football. That would have been the Peacock 3:00 Saturday game.
Yeah, if we kept Baker Mayfield, that would be Browns versus Broncos, and every Browns fan would be like, "Oh shit, I'm getting nervous because our history versus the Broncos isn't amazing."
Oh yeah, Ernest Biner,
the drive and the fumble, buddy.
Yeah,
the drive and the fumble. But yeah, I think I'm gonna have the Bills in this one. The Browns have not really. Have we beaten a team with a legitimate? I guess we beat Jordan Love. They got to Jordan Love that one time. That's the only time they've really won a game versus a team with a legitimate quarterback.
I was going to say they beat the Raiders with Geno Smith, and who else did they beat?
Yeah. Did they beat the Ravens? No. Did they beat this? They haven't. They've almost gotten swept this year in the division.
Who else did they beat?
We beat.
This is a fun game. Who would the quarterback have been?
It had to be Dylan. Oh, the Dolphins.
The Dolphins. Yes, Miami.
Dolphins. Well, obviously, they don't have a legitimate quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
They just have Pittsburgh's quarterback.
Oh, dude, I was an asshole on Twitter the other day about that. Oh man,
Jared, it's gonna be okay. Because I hope we're live when that news drops.
I'm telling you, man, if it does,
it's just gonna stop the show. Whoa! Breaking. Tua has just been traded to Pittsburgh. And they took Nick Herbig.
I'll have to walk down to the Clemente Bridge at that point. That'll take me.
Like a second and Tua, a second. Then you get a second Nick Herbig for Tua the fifth.
I would be genuinely speaking. I think there's a next to 0% chance they trade for him in that contract because he's not good. If anything, I think that they would go for Kyler before they went for Tua. I
don't think the Dolphins could afford to trade him. I think that's the thing. It's just like they're just gonna have him.
I think Kyler's certainly in play for a Pittsburgh trade, though. I think that's like genuinely possible.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an awkward Deshaun Watson year for Tua.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, get ready to learn scout team corner, buddy. Look, that's the trademark of a quarterback that's on the roster that they don't want. They made Deshaun Watson do it in Texas, in Houston. They made RG3 do that shit in Washington. Yeah. Look, Deshaun and Tua about to be doing some scout team safety, buddy. Get ready to be Jesse Minter.
I mean, hell, Baker did scout team defensive end when he's in Carolina.
Look, man, you know when it gets bad is when you out here wearing a 90 with a fucking Henley over your pants. Like,
hey Q,
there's some folks who about to be learning that life.
I heard the Jesse Minter, bro. We're gonna have to fight. Don't tell me you guys want him as a coach.
No.
Don't tell. Okay, good.
No, I meant to say Jesse Bates. He's gonna have to be. Okay, we need somebody to be Jesse Bates. Deshaun, that's you this week.
I don't know, man. According to Josina, there's people in the Browns building that would be interested in Bill Belichick.
Yeah, okay. According to Josina.
It might as well be John Cena reporting that at that point. Jesus Christ.
According to Josina, I'm gonna get $1 million right when I get off this stream. We'll see what happens.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, that'd be nice. You know what I mean? I'll super chat back to the show after I retire. You know?
Oh, speaking of, we had a super chat. We need to get to that real quick. Sorry. Ace, can you put that one on?
Yeah, I got you. If Miles ties the sack record versus Buffalo, will the Steelers be shameless in making sure he doesn't break it versus them?
It depends on how much they need to win the game, but like they're already shameless about trying to avoid Miles getting sacks against them. Like Mike Tomlin, did he say in a press conference, we will do anything, include hold, to avoid him from getting sacked?
I'd have to see if I can dig something up on that. I don't remember, honestly.
Yeah, it's like
he had a big game last year during the Snow Globe game against Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I mean, it was hard to avoid them. They're gonna do that shit they did with Mason that 1 year versus Cleveland. It was like, oh, they're just gonna jet right, jet left, everything. They're gonna
maybe
everything's a bootleg, and it's always away from Miles.
Fine with me.
Miles walks to the other side. They changing shit up. Oh, they go bootleg to the other side. Miles trying to catch him off guard. It's gonna be bootlegs.
I'm excited to see what the hell the over under for Steelers Browns is gonna be. This shit's gonna be like 30.
You think so?
It's gonna be low, dude.
You think it's going to be low? Because I think the history of Brown Steelers means that you're at least getting 40 there. And they're thinking that the Steelers can go for most of that.
Maybe. I mean, the Steelers scored 23 in the first matchup, but it was still like 23-9, so it was 32. I think it'll hover around there.
Yeah, we'll see. Denzel Ward being healthy matters a lot because
it does.
Jason Campbell on DK Metcalf.
Say your prayers. Yeah, we saw what that looked like already. I actually bet Bills minus 10.5. So I'm hoping that's what I get.
That's the line, 10.5.
Yeah.
Ooh, boy,
at least that's what it opened at. That was before it was reported that Denzel and David Njoku and a bunch of dudes weren't playing. So
they were giving us the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah. So hold on, let me see. It's still 10.5. It hasn't moved. At least not on FanDuel. It hasn't moved. It's 10.5 there.
Oh shit, man.
So yeah, I bet that.
Like I want this team to be better so fast.
They have a chance to be.
Oh yeah, they could. It would surprise nobody, but it would surprise everybody at the same time.
Ace?
Yeah, man. It's pretty obvious here, man. The Bills are going to take this one. I think you're just looking at it from a Browns perspective. You're just trying to see how Shedeur does. You know, what your younger players do in this game. If Miles gets the sack record, that's what you're looking forward to in this game. I think the Bills, they're just going to come in and try to take care of business and try to make sure that they close the season out the way that they need to. So obviously, I think Josh Allen is going to try to get that. It's going to be interesting though, like I said, because do the Bills still have injuries on the offensive line? Because I know a few weeks ago when they played us, they did. I know the backups are still pretty solid, but I want to say
Deion Dawkins has returned, Spencer Brown's returned, so they got both their starting tackles.
Okay, so they got him back. Yeah, they were missing him a couple weeks.
I want to say Cyrus Torrance might have been dealing with something, but I can look real quick.
Okay,
I don't
so
know
it seems
what this is, but like when teams have their starting tackles, Miles is always better going against those guys than when he goes up
in the
against
backups
unknown, because you're like, oh, he's gonna get 45 sacks. He never has that.
And I believe the Bills have given up decent number of sacks this season. So I think
the only guys ruled out for the game are defensive tackle Jordan Phillips, Matt Prater, the kicker, and then backup offensive tackle Chase Alon. Everybody else is good to go.
Okay, so everybody, when they played the Bengals a few weeks ago, they had some guys out. So, but even when they had those guys out, I think Bills fans were telling me that those backups were playing pretty good. So seems like they'll be all right. But I think Miles gets the record against this Bills team, and the Bills get the win.
All right. Let's go.
JJ Watt on a call for that. That would be
Iron Eagle JJ Watt. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. And JJ Watt is the last unanimous defensive player of the year.
Yeah.
So it's like,
if Miles doesn't get it unanimously this year, somebody did it just to be an ass.
Mason Rudolph folded.
Mason Rudolph comes in with like one of those glasses, big nose, and mustache disguises. All right, Rex Fortune.
We got a super chat from him. It says if the Browns,
like Hangman Page versus Swerve, where he's like, "Never you, you don't deserve it."
If the Browns get Mendoza or Moore and have the offense hover between 20th and 16th, the new head coach will win the easiest coach of the year.
Well, it's like coach of the year is so easy to win in Cleveland because anytime you win like 10 games in Cleveland,
I mean, hell, Kevin's won it twice.
Yeah, he won 11 games twice. Like you make the playoffs in our 11-win team in Cleveland, they're gonna be like, "Oh shit, this guy must be Jesus." Like
basically,
that's what they think of winning in Cleveland nationally. So yeah, if somebody takes over, the Browns look like they're emerging, and it looks like a quarterback's gonna be there in Cleveland. Oh yeah, that guy's gonna have the easiest time winning coach of the year. And by the way, Mendoza will have the most easy rookie of the year award win ever if like he looks like a starting quarterback for the Browns. I mean, look, Shedeur had one good game and everybody was willing, like, about to make him like the next messiah of the NFL.
I mean, that also comes with the attention that he was already getting to begin with, and I think people were just kind of waiting on that.
The game in Cleveland.
Yeah,
I'm talking about the Raiders game. Like, he won a game in Cleveland. It's like, yeah, man. Unfortunately, that's something that we deal with here. But yeah, the first guys who win a bunch of games here will certainly get covered.
I can't wait for that for the timeline when that Shedeur Sanders has been traded notification hits. That'll be good.
I've been tracking this. So like, right, you know the 5 stages of grief. Right now, I think like that fan base is in the denial part of the 5 stages of grief because
eventually they'll hit acceptance.
I keep seeing them like post these like side by sides of Mendoza's stats versus Shedeur's stats.
Oh, I see Kurt arguing all day with people saying that no, Shedeur's better than Mendoza.
Yeah, and it's like you see these posts and they're like, yeah, man, the film says he's better, and then they're using like stats, and I'm like, buddy. One did it, like it's not even worth arguing. I don't think anybody worth their salt is gonna make the argument that like his tape is not clearly better, because it is. Like the processing is much faster, the arm talent and everything. It's all there. Like
only thing I hate about Mendoza is his face mask. It looks like a kicker face mask. It's so low.
Kicker face mask. It bugs the shit out of me. Right?
It bugs me. Yeah.
It's so swagless. It's like, okay, I get swagless, but you got to go Kirk Cousins swagless, where you got the big like.
No, I think Kirk's is good. I think Kirk's is good because Stafford wears that one.
I'm saying like it's like old school swag. Like it's like, oh, you're so swagless that you have a helmet from a Revolution face mask,
right?
That people wore in like 2010 in high school.
On like a Revo Speed helmet.
Yeah, like you forced Riddell to keep that fucking face mask alive. In order to play with it in today's NFL. It's like when Aaron Rodgers goes out there with the shut, like the 19 fucking shut on with the goddamn clear chin strap. Is like, wow, that's so swagless. It's almost good. But yeah, the kicker face mask is like, okay, like come on. It's like wearing jeans at a basketball camp or something. It's like,
I mean, look, man, I know a lot of dudes who looked pretty good on the field and sucked. So maybe this is the
that's true, but there's a difference between not having swag and then like being the kid with jeans on.
That's true. That's true.
Like,
very true.
You might be the first hooper with jeans on. Like it's just like, all right, man, I need you to change that when you come.
Every time I see like Fernando Mendoza talk, I just close my eyes and it's Tony Khan.
It's Tony Khan, right?
Yeah. That's all I can see.
Like, yeah, that guy's gonna retire from football and be a C-suite guy. Like, you could just hear him just sending end of day messages and shit. Hey, team, like,
crazy. All right, let's go to Bengals Dolphins. Ace, I also bet Bengals -4.5 in this game. So I'm feeling, if anything, that might be one of my best bets of the week. I think that going up against Quinn Ewers of all people, if you can't win by more than 4 points. Something's wrong.
Bengals don't have a great track record when it comes to backup quarterbacks. That's all I'll say. I think they should cover.
Okay.
I've just seen some crazy things with like Mike White. I've seen some things with backup unknown quarterbacks when it comes to the Bengals. So might want to tread with a little bit of caution there. That's all I was.
And then there's Quinn Ewers, Ace.
Bro,
7th round pick, Quinn Ewers.
What draft pick was Mike White?
I've seen Quinn Ewers. Okay,
is he undrafted?
Mike White is definitely more talented than Quinn Ewers. Quinn Ewers only went in the 7th round because he was once a number 1 overall prospect in college, right?
Yeah.
And I've seen Quinn Ewers have a ball that was blown off target in the Georgia Dome.
Mike White was a 5th round pick. Yeah,
5th round pick. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just saying they do this weird thing.
Throw balls that felt like the wind got it in Jerry's world. Like this is who we talking about. Quinn Ewers. He's had 30-mile-per-hour winds to his back and still underthrew people.
I'm just saying, bro. We do not have. It doesn't matter where they were drafted. I don't know what it is.
If it was,
I don't know what it is.
Like, all right, man, maybe something can happen. But like Quinn. By the way, Dolphins. They about to hook us up with that 5th for Dylan Gabriel.
Oh, you think so?
Oh, yeah.
I think the Bengals will still win the game. But Bengals fans, we have seen this story before. We go into a game against an unknown quarterback, and you're usually expect teams to dominate. For some reason, they do not. It's almost as if they are like unprepared for whoever this guy is and what they're going to do offensively, and whatever you can do wrong, they normally do. So I'm a little bit worried from that standpoint because there's no film on Quentin Ewers. There's not. And when they play, this defense plays quarterbacks for the first time, it's bad. Like even in the Steelers game, right? When Aaron Rodgers was in the game, they did decent against Aaron Rodgers. As soon as Mason Rudolph goes in, touchdown. It's like, oh, shit. It's like, they just
coach against him when he was at Texas last year. Did they cross paths in the playoff?
I'll go to. I'm not sure.
I want to say those two played each other.
Well, no, Notre Dame played in the national championship, right?
Oh yeah, I guess they did. Yeah, so I guess they wouldn't have. They were on opposite side of the bracket,
unless they played during the regular season.
I don't think. Oh, look, just for fun.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad that it's not Zach Wilson because I definitely would take the Dolphins.
Zach Wilson would.
That's crazy.
Sense. But like, if Joe Burrow has a competitive game with Quinn Ewers in 2020,
I am telling you, bro. Mike
able to just walk out of his contract.
Mike White, when we played him, I want to say was the 3rd string quarterback for the Jets. Like they had benched Zach Wilson and whoever else. I don't know if it was Joe Flacco. Like, look, the Bengals do this thing against backup quarterbacks, like unknown guys. Like they've been doing this shit since TJ Yates with the Texans. Like they've been doing this. This is, I don't know what it is. I hope that it doesn't happen Sunday. I think this is finally the time where it doesn't get them. But that's something to keep an eye on. Like I don't know what it is when it comes down to that. I think hopefully the defense plays better, right? The Bengals have put some guys on IR, Chris Jenkins, guys like that. When it comes down to it, we still have Joe Burrow, so that's going to give us an advantage right there. Joe Burrow versus Quentin Ewers. That I think that they should be able to get it done just based off of that right there. I don't think that this is a game Joe Burrow should be playing in. That's been a big debate somehow, and I don't even see how it's a debate because I don't see how it benefits Joe Burrow to play in these games with him, still having the toe injury. He's got the plate there. I just don't understand why you would even expose him to the possibility of having some sort of setback there in games that don't matter. But the Bengals are going to do it. They're going to play him. Zach Taylor's trying to save his job. The Bengals should be able to win this game. I think it's clear that the Dolphins are tanking right now, right? They benched Tua. They didn't go with Zach Wilson. They picked Quentin Ewers on purpose, right? They cut Matt Judon, right? He's probably trying to leave because he knows
he's in Buffalo now.
He's in Buffalo now?
They put him on the practice squad, so he'll probably get called up before the end of the year.
Yeah, I figured somebody was going to – he's just getting out of there because those guys are clearly tanking. So it looks like they're trying to give this win to Cincinnati. And honestly, I think it's stupid for Cincinnati to take this win because right now you're picking 9th. The Dolphins are behind you right now, so you're really doing them a favor by beating them and, giving them ground to gain in terms of draft leverage and stuff like that. I don't know what the hell Cincinnati is doing right now because I would be sitting Burrow. Jake Browning would be starting this one if it were me. But no, Bengals are going to win this one just because it's Joe Burrow versus Quentin Ewers. So
they're going to have Joe Burrow go out being 9. Okay. Like last time I saw Joe Burrow, he was in the number 9 meme. That's what they're like, hey, bro, he can't go out like that.
I might have to look at Joe Burrow props in this game. If you parlay Bills minus 10.5 and Bengals minus 4.5, like I did, you can get plus 281 odds on FanDuel. So for all my degenerates out there who need some good bets, hopefully that hits. We'll see. We shall see. Any other thoughts on this one from anybody?
Hey, man, I swear to God, if you make Quinn Ewers look good for 1 week, dog, 1 week, Zach Taylor keeps his job.
You saw the billboard, Q?
No, I didn't see the billboard.
Oh, yeah. Bengals fans took out a billboard saying, fire Zach, fire Tobin, save Burrow.
Damn, it's that bad, bro. Y'all taking a billboard.
We got the billboard.
Second AFC North team to have a billboard out this year.
Who else had one?
Steelers had one earlier in like the calendar year.
I'm about to say, bro, we got one billboard in Cleveland. I guess we ain't like that no more. Like we just like, hey, we fired Kevin at the end of the year. Damn, that's crazy. Like to get to the point where you're like, hey man, Quinn Ewers might dot us up is crazy. Like that's insane, bro. That wasn't even a fear for Ohio State, dog. Like,
right.
How is it a fear for an NFL team?
The Bengals might have the 3rd best defense in Ohio. That's sad. That's sad.
Even, like debatable, dog. Arvell Reese and Sonny Styles over what they got on the defense.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, they take Sonny Styles would be the best player on the D line right now. Like,
that's a fair point.
That's not wrong.
Like you have those 3 players to the Bengals, that's legitimately a better defense. Like
they would be.
Not lying.
Rex Fortune says Bengals are like Anthony Joshua tonight. So long as they don't play with their food, it should be light work. I'm throwing out the triple B though. What? Anthony Joshua is a boxer, correct? We talked about
yes, him and is it Jake Paul or Logan Paul tonight?
Jake Paul.
Jake Paul.
6'6", 272 pounds. About to box Jake Paul.
I can promise you I will not be watching that. I'll be watching.
Oh, you're going to watch it. You're going to see it.
I'm sure I'll see like clips of it, but
on Twitter, you're going to
you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do my best to avoid it, actually.
I'm hoping this fight is short enough that you can catch up with all of it on a TikTok. You know what I mean? Like a 2-minute fight. I've never needed something to have like Tyson fight energy more than this. Like
it's gonna be the Tyson one was worse, bro. Tyson one.
Well, no. I'm talking about prime Tyson fight. Like he's like, all right, we out of there. Like because the thing is, like all these other dudes are retired. They don't have anything to really care about other than money. Anthony Joshua is still in the world.
Anthony Joshua is like literally a relevant heavyweight fighter that's still young.
Tyson Fury right now, like
you're ducking Tyson Fury to fight Logan Paul. Like, come on, bro.
Jake like, Paul. They're saying from the Joshua camp, they're like, hey, we were gonna fight a scrub anyway. Why not that scrub be Jake Paul?
Why not?
And just get a hell of a payday on it.
It's just it's so sad, bro. Because boxing, I love boxing, but this whole celebrity boxing,
dude. Yes, I 100% agree. I never really cared about boxing to begin with, but it used to be like respected, and it used to be like this thing where it's like, all right, yeah, we're gonna go see Manny Pacquiao fight another one of the greatest fighters in the world, and it's gonna be awesome. Now it's just jackass celebrities getting in the ring, and people are paying to see it, and it pisses me off that the human race is this fucking stupid. God damn it.
Shit. But yeah, I remember my dad introducing me to boxing by having me watch a bunch of like lightweight fighters and be like, yeah, you find out the dynamics in boxing, like, all right, so here's what you need to know. 2 featherweights, that man Cuban, that man Puerto Rican, they about to fight to the death. And then you watch them, they fight to the death. You're like, oh, some real shit going on between them, apparently. Like, then the crowd be getting all crazy. You ever watch one of them dynamics? You know, where it become more about the dynamic in the crowd in the boxing match than what's actually going on in the boxing match.
And it's crazy because we just got for guys that watch boxing, we just got Bud Crawford versus Canelo, which was an amazing fight. And now we're back to this TikTok shit. Like, come on, bro. Oh my god.
Dumb. So dumb. The extent of my boxing knowledge comes from the Disney Channel original movie Jump In with Corbin Bleu. That's about where my boxing knowledge begins and ends. So
all I will say is, Jared, just go look at. They're not going to be that long of clips. Just find prime Iron Mike Tyson.
Oh no, I've seen like the clips of the biggest of Tyson.
Want to see what could happen to Jake Paul today without watching it? Once you're done with this, or once we get off, I'll have you Google so we can see your reaction. Anthony Joshua versus Francis Ngannou.
I know who Francis Ngannou is, so like I have like a little bit of general tidbits.
I need you to see what happened to him when he fought Anthony Joshua in the boxing.
All right, I'll look at it.
And then still need to get Tyson Fury versus Joshua. I can't believe we're getting Jake Paul versus Joshua before that.
I know Tyson Fury fights. I know who Tyson Fury is. I know his brother was on Love Island. Oh, I cut out?
No, you're back. You're back.
Okay. I know that Tyson Fury, his brother was on one of the seasons of Love Island.
Tyson Fury fight Braun Strowman in Saudi Arabia?
Yeah, some shit like that. Yeah. Just some dumb like end of Vince McMahon WWE, just random carny bullshit. Yeah. So dumb. Cain Velasquez showed up for a minute real quick too. Oh, it was so dumb.
Yeah,
so dumb.
It was peak like post-pandemic WWE.
I think that was pre-pandemic actually. I think that was like 2019, like the first SmackDown on Fox.
Was that what they were making like Roman eat dog food?
Oh yeah.
It's just like, oh yeah, this is Vince has fucking dementia.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well let's hop over to the Sunday night game. Ravens hosting New England. The Patriots coming off a loss to Buffalo last week where they were winning 21-0 at one point in the second quarter. Buffalo came back to win. The Ravens shut out the Bengals last week. Let's see. The line for this game, the Ravens are 2.5-point favorites at home. In terms of what I think New England's the better overall team. I think right now Drake May's playing at an MVP capable level. Defensively, it's been touch and go. They'll have games where they look very good, and it looked like it was going to be that game against Buffalo, where at one point the Patriots had as many points as the Bills had yards. And in the second half, the Red Sea just parted. If they are able to limit the run game of Baltimore, if Derrick Henry, looks pedestrian, and it comes down to Lamar, Zay Flowers having to beat Christian Gonzalez and the Patriots secondary in coverage, I think that plays into the hand of New England. And what New England's done offensively this year, obviously, we touched on May, but Josh McDaniels' offense being able to set up Stephon Diggs, but also Kayshon Boutte, Pop Douglas, Mac Hollins, like all these guys who are, more or less replaceable guys who have found roles in the Patriots offense. Offensive line wise, they've been very good. Running the ball, they've been very good. Trevion Henderson's really come alive in the second half of the year. So I think they're an incredibly well-rounded offense. And if they can slow down the run game of Baltimore, and if they can start off fast and make Baltimore play from behind, I think they have the advantage. I'm more or less picking with my heart here and hoping New England wins. I would love nothing more than for the Ravens to miss the playoffs, and I would love nothing more than for next week in Cleveland, the Steelers be able to wrap up the division. That would be pretty great. So I'll take New England to win. But yeah, very, very up in the air here in terms of what could go down. I would say though, if the Ravens lose this game, then they fall to 7-8. I wonder how loud the calls for Harbaugh's job get.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
Sonny been willing to fire him for
a while.
Oh, for sure. Ace.
I think they're done. Like, I think they're over it, to be honest. Like, I don't think the calls can get any louder. Because if we're thinking about it, this isn't a Pittsburgh situation where Pittsburgh's like, oh, well, we're at least going to do the same shit we did last year. They are in a position where they want to fire the coach if they even did remotely the same shit they did last year. I couldn't imagine being worse.
Yeah. And at least with the Ravens, though, like with Pittsburgh, like I'm very fed up with Mike Tomlin and I would like something new. But like a valid point that they would make is like, all right, well, look at what, they've had at quarterback. Granted, Mike Tomlin's been the guy who's put those quarterbacks there. Whatever.
Like a head coaching hire is the last step for Pittsburgh to get where they want to.
Right. And with Baltimore, they've had Lamar for damn near a decade now, and they've only been to one AFC title game. So I can understand the frustration there and the considerable underperforming when you have a guy of that caliber and you've only been to one AFC title game and you didn't even win it. So
John was about to get fired before Lamar even showed up.
What's that?
Yeah, Lamar was about to get John was about to get fired before Lamar showed up.
Right. Because they had been through a little bit of a drought of their own.
It's like you know what that's like? That's like when you do something at your cousin's house and then you get told you're gonna get whipped when you get home, but then your parents have a good ass time.
Mm-hmm.
They going back in the car, they having a good time. You like, I might get away, I might not get whipped, and then the weekend come and they remember that ass whooping. It's like, oh shit.
I can't relate to this. This must be we grew up in different houses. I don't know.
Yeah, man. The Patriots have scored 30 the last two games. Ravens haven't scored 30 since like Halloween, dog. I don't. I mean, 2 months without them being this explosive offense that they usually have been. I'm still not a believer in that offense. I mean, they did eliminate the Bengals. They did do their thing last week. But one thing that kind of got overlooked in that game is Lamar only passed the ball 12 times. Now, I get it, the weather and all of that. Joe Burrow still threw it 39 times in that game. I just don't know, especially against this Patriots team that's been very explosive on offense, if I'm favoring a team that's 7-7 right now against a New England Patriots team coming off of a shocking loss to the Bills, right? Seemed like they had control of that game. They're going to be playing mad in this one. They're going to be putting up points. And I do believe somewhat in the Ravens defense to slow them down, but I don't believe in the Ravens offense right now to consistently be able to score points. And then you talk about Vrabel being the guy in New England. Obviously, he used a coach with Derrick Henry. So he's going to have a plan for Derrick Henry in this game.
I mean, how they put belt to ass on the Ravens in the postseason in 2019 when they were
2019. They did their thing. So I think that right now, Drake May, that offense is running smoothly in New England. I think that they're the better team. Honestly, when I looked at when the Bengals were still in contention, I looked at these games saying that those could be losses for the Ravens. When I look at the Patriots and the Packers, and I don't feel differently as it stands right now. If Lamar would have showed me a lot more in the last couple of games, then maybe I would lean more towards the Ravens in this one. But this Patriots team, they can score. Like, they're not going to sit back and not go blow for blow, pause with the Ravens. I just think that I'm liking the Patriots in this one. I'm actually kind of shocked that the Ravens are favored in this game because it's not like the Patriots are some bum team or anything like that. Like, this is a Patriots team.
And on top of that, if you took Patriots plus 2.5, it's plus money. So that's
it's like
pretty
an 11-3
crazy
team. Like, give me that free money right now. I mean, I get it. I know that the Ravens' backs are up against the wall, but this is a 7-7 team, dog, versus an 11-3 really good Patriots team that I wasn't sold on to start the season, but they have proved me wrong every step of the way. I think that they're an elite AFC team right now, and I just have a hard time if Lamar isn't 100% and the Ravens are not this dynamic offense that they've been in the past where they can drop 30 on you at the drop of a dime and there's no, like, shock to it. Then sure, I would have them, but I just haven't seen that Ravens offense that I'm used to seeing where any play they could just easily score 30 in their sleep. It's been 2 months since nearly 2 months since they've scored 30. So I think the Patriots get out of this one with a win. I'm not buying the Ravens stock right now.
Yeah,
Patriots are 10th in success rate right now. So they've been pretty efficient. Sorry, Q, go ahead.
Drake May and Josh McDaniels are about to be having Roquan ass hitting the shuffle all fucking game, bro. It's gonna be they're gonna be rolling him out.
You're saying they're gonna have him doing one hop this time? 2 hops this time.
It's gonna be every play. Drake May rolling.
Crisscross.
You know what I mean? Come on, bring your big ass over, Roquan. We gonna put the scope on you this week, boy. They gonna be targeting him like a motherfucker this week, boy. Let me tell you, they are gonna be attacking that part of the field. Yeah. This feels like I am struggling because like the Patriots got so good so fast. I have not caught up to them being an 11-3 fucking football team.
It's crazy, bro. Yeah. It's crazy.
But hey, look, the Ravens have done this when they were emerging, right? With Lamar. And it's like, are they really that good? And it's like, yeah, they probably gonna win a lot of games. So we'll see. I think the Ravens are at least playing better football than they have been the last couple of weeks. Mm-hmm. But I just don't trust that locker room to have the energy day in and day out to be able to show up, because before that Bengals game, they had no fucking energy, right? They had no willingness to do this, and they're going up against a team that can create a lot of energy just by executing at a high level, and they got the quarterback to be able to match what the Ravens could do at quarterback. Like, so, they usually, when those things equal out with the Ravens, even on their best days, they lose.
Yeah. I want to say, defensively, though, for the Ravens, they're 9th in success rate. And looking at the people, the teams that New England's face, I want to say
that they can't get a pass rush on Drake May this week.
That is a problem. That is a problem. But I just generally speaking, I don't think they faced a team with a higher success rate than that this season, because I don't think they haven't played Denver. I don't believe they played Denver.
They played Cleveland.
They played Cleveland. Okay. They're second in success. Okay, tied for first in success rate. So, yeah, they've been tested with other good defenses. What's that?
And they fucked us up.
Yeah, they did. It didn't start that way. Harold Fannin scored a touchdown early. Things looked like, all right.
They got that shit back to reality.
They the number 1 EPA passing attack. Like, they're legit, bro.
It was just like he cooked more.
Yeah. And that's been my thing with like New England all year. Everybody's like been pointing, oh, look at who they play. Well, they're beating the fuck out of these teams that they're playing. It's not like these are close games for the most part. So yeah, they're a real team. Drake May's a real quarterback. Vrabel's a real head coach. I mean, he's proven that multiple times over. I think they win. I'm not going to be totally shocked if Baltimore does.
And they got a real run game too, which is going to be able to kind of offset you, because like usually when Roquan's eating, it's because your run game's trash and he can just like kind of settle in and do what he does. But with a dude like Travion and how they like to run him, they're going to have him again. It's going to be a lot of left and right running for him, and that's not where the Ravens defense, especially their linebackers, are the best at.
Sure. I want to look at the Ravens injury report real quick just to see who's in and who is not for them. Should be on their Twitter page. Let me see if I can get it pulled up. All right, here we go. Oh, Jesus Lord, that is a long injury report. All right, so let's see. Chidobe Awuzie is doubtful. Teddy Buchanan's out. Kyle Hamilton questionable. So that's that. I mean, if Kyle Hamilton's not there, then this is a whole different conversation. They have. I'm sorry. Does that say? Okay, I thought that said Lamar questionable. No, that's John Jenkins. And then questionable also is Ronnie Stanley. So there you go. In terms of who's going to be in, who's going to be out. Yeah, I don't know from like a betting perspective if I'm going to touch the Patriots winning, but I might, especially if it's like that good of a value. Maybe I'll throw a little bit on it. It depends on what these Bills and Bengals games end up looking like. Because I had a horrible week last week, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. So it sucked.
Don't get mad at me if Quentin Ewers somehow messes up that spread.
I really hope he doesn't. Now, I did make money last night because both Matthew Stafford and Sam Darnold reached the passing yard threshold that I needed them to reach. So that was good. Hopefully we can take that into Sunday and have something good come away from that. I don't know. At this point in the season, has it become mock draft season for you? Or are you just
for sure. Yeah. I'm looking at it's mock draft season. It's get the Taylor Bond out of here season. It's get Duke Tobin up out of here season. It's all of the above for me, buddy. I'm looking at, how we can get Zach Taylor off of my franchise right now and how we can get a better GM in, because if Duke Tobin possesses this pick, he's going to figure out a way to John Ross it once again, with the John top Ross. 10 pick.
I tell you what, John Ross, great in Madden. Great in Madden.
Great Madden player.
Yeah, it was
not
the
even
best.
as good as Darius Hayward-Bay. He didn't even give us that.
That's the thing with like Madden at this point. I think people have said it's gotten better, but like Madden 20, Madden 21, you could just get John Ross's fast ass, put him in the slot, audible to slants every time. 80% of the time, it's gone.
Halfback stretch with Nick Chubb was unstoppable in that game. It was just like one play halfback. I ran for like 4,000 yards.
The difference, Q, is Nick Chubb was actually good in real life. John Ross was just a good Madden player.
Yeah, exactly. There was a tight end. There was a tight end, and I want to say he was big in the Browns Hard Knocks season. Long hair, fast for a tight end, like a vertical threat guy whose name is escaping me right now, but I'd always pick him up. And I cannot remember. Wow. I can't remember what his name was.
You were like 88.
Maybe.
Let me see. Let me look up Baker's rookie year.
There you go. Yeah. Find out who this is, because that was a hero. I
just remember when Al Davis was still alive on Madden. Whenever you play with the Raiders, they were a cheat code. Everybody had like 97 speed. They had Terrell Pryor, I think, one year at quarterback. They were in insane.
You were bench to starter, put Terrell Pryor in.
For sure.
Jacoby Ford out the slot. Yeah, it was nasty. Lewis Murphy, Darius Hayward-Bay. Literally everybody had like a 97, 98 speed.
I remember like Madden 07, like me and my friends, like we do like a fantasy draft and like a franchise and whatnot. I'd always take Reggie Bush first. And then for some reason, I always ended up with the cornerback R.W. McQuarters, played for the Giants for a while. He was always on my team. That is what I recall from that. When it's summertime, like I genuinely, because I have a PlayStation 2 and I've got some old Maddens, I don't know how to stream. I feel like that's something I need to learn.
All I'm going to say is, this might be, I don't even think this is a hot take anymore, because somebody that worked for Madden said this. Those PS2 Maddens are still better than the ones that today. They're still better than, like, the way that they play. I think it's like the engine, like the way that they move. Yeah. Whenever they went to like PS3,
they're currently on the Frostbite engine, I believe, is what they run.
Yeah, they should have never changed engines. Yeah, they should have never changed engines.
It relies more so on animations than it does like the actual physics of football, and you get caught up in animations and shit a bunch. So it's not nearly as good as it used to be. Do we find this mystery tight end, Q?
All I can find is Seth DeVal.
I think that's who it was.
Seth DeVal. I don't know if he had long hair, but they might have just had him with long hair in Madden. But yeah,
okay. They were messing people up back then.
Gronk. I remember we were like, he's like Gronk, bro. He wore 87.
Yeah, for whatever reason, he would kick every ass in the building when it came for Madden game time. It was a go. You'd run tight end attack and he'd be the guy on the post. Unstoppable. He's like an 89 speed at tight end. No linebackers keeping up with that. It was great. It was the best. All right. I think we've covered every game. Anybody have any last thoughts they want to touch on that we haven't gotten?
Fire Zach Taylor and Duke Tobin. That's it for me.
Okay.
Keep Zach Taylor. Keep Duke Tobin.
I don't think I have anything else to say other than
I will be rooting for the Titans this weekend. And
who's Tennessee playing?
They're playing the Chiefs.
They are, yeah. Gardner Minshew. Good God.
Yeah. Well, and the Chiefs are not playing anybody anymore. So
yeah, is Chris Jones not playing?
I saw the injury report, and all I saw was a bunch of people tweet white flags after.
Oh, okay.
Let me pull up the injury report here.
Okay.
What happened to Kelsey talking about fighting after for their respect?
Sounds like he's played his last game.
Trent McDuffie, Leo Chanel, Jalen
Moore, they're done.
Rice, Jawan Taylor, Tyquan Thornton, Jake Brinestone, Nazie Johnson, Derek Namdi, all out for Sunday versus the Titans.
All right. Well, that realistic chance that the Titans win. They got the better quarterback.
I don't know, man. Gardner might have one of them fucking days.
Yeah, Gardner's keen to have one of those. He had 2 years ago? I think he had one with the Eagles.
His whole career is having one of those days. His whole career. It's like 12 days has kept him in the league, like for fucking ever. But this is his whole career. He had a good game on a Thursday night. Everyone's like, oh, he's good. And it never got questioned. And then he's been in the league ever since.
What 2020 they won week 1 against the Chargers and then lost the remaining 15 games.
Twice, didn't he? Like it's just.
Oh yeah, with the Colts a few years ago. Yeah, they won on the road there.
And then he came back with the Raiders or something. He beat them with the Raiders, and I think he beat them with the Colts too, like in back-to-back years. This Gardner Minshew gonna get you one game.
I'm hopeful that he's not on my roster, my team's roster next year. That would be.
By the way, the Chiefs' propensity to have like the weirdest guys be their backup quarterbacks.
Was it Carson Wentz last year?
Yeah, that didn't end well for Carson.
No, it didn't. Who else did they? It was Chad Henne for the longest time.
Oh yeah, the Henne man. Yeah, we got Chad Henne in the playoffs.
You did get. Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, the Browns did get Chad Henne that year. Well, who was it? Juice Landry, if he holds onto the ball and it doesn't go out the back of the end zone when he's reaching it for the goal line.
Legend, retired to Cleveland Brown, Rashad Higgins.
Oh, it was Rashad Higgins. Okay.
He hit the head and fumbled the ball at the back.
I want to say, who was it? Reed Sorensen that did that?
It was a white safety, so I'm pretty sure it was Sorensen.
If you're looking for white safeties, Reed Sorensen's a pretty good name to start with.
It's like, what era? Okay, 2010s. It happened in 2010 or 2020. It's like either a Sorensen or a Weddle, right?
And apparently there's something to the name Reed for safeties because he got Reed Blankenship with the Eagles.
And let's be clear here.
Also a fair, complex man.
Reed, not R-E-E-D.
Yeah.
Reed. You know what I mean? That's a different thing. That's a different beast. But Reed as a first name.
Jesus. But all right. We will be back at some point next week. We got to figure out this whole Christmas schedule. But until then, if y'all are traveling and whatnot for Christmas, we can't see you till after next week. Hope you have a good holiday with your families, travel and whatnot. Be safe. But yes, we will be back next week to both recap and preview everything from week 16 and into week 17. So until then, take care. We'll be back next week.
The rest of the season, I'm like Triple H. We got to do what's best for business. Standing back there watching the kicker try to kick a game winner with the sledgehammer, like, I need you to do